Good afternoon. You're with me, Tanima Biswas, and the top story we are focusing on at this bulletin is the report which has come out, which shows that there was a Chinese military transgression into the Indian territory through Uttarakhand border. Now, according to a report which has been filed by the Economic Times, over 100 Chinese troops along with 50 military horses crossed the border at Barahoti region in Uttarakhand last month. Now, intelligence sources indicate and told the Economic Times that the troops damaged some infrastructure, including a bridge, before retreating from the location in about 3 hours. The incident took place on 30th of August, remember. The transgression was reported by the locals as the Chinese troops entered the grazing grounds near Barahoti by crossing Tunjun La Pass. Now, the report also adds that the transgression raised security concerns since the area is a demilitarized zone. However, Chinese troops vacated the place before Indian patrolling could reach that area. Additional security has now been deployed in the central sector. The transgression by China comes amid disengagement of troops in eastern Ladakh. So for further explaining the story actually further and giving us an understanding about the significance of this stretch where this transgression reportedly took place, let me go across to my colleague Gauri Singh, who is joining us from the newsroom. Gauri, please explain to our viewers, why is this stretch really important?
That's right, Tanima. Let's take our viewers through the significance of this Barahoti stretch where this entire Chinese transgression actually took place. It is located at Uttarakhand border with China. You can see in this map also. It is located right near the Chinese border, and it lies north of Nanda Devi National Park. Another important significant factor regarding the stretch is, of course, that it is connected to where Indian posts are put up. So, of course, security-wise also, it is very, very significant. It requires 3 kilometers steep trek to reach Barahoti Ridge. So the entire terrain is pretty difficult and it needs a significant amount of trekking also to reach there. Troops trek to bridge from last motorable point. This is also one important thing, and as you were also telling our viewers, the Chinese soldiers actually took help of horses to enter in this area. They saw first trans-border intrusions by Chinese in 1954. So this is not the first time when Chinese soldiers are engaging in such kind of misadventure in this particular area. Similar incident took place in 1954 as well. So this is what we know right now about Barahoti stretch.
Right, Gauri, thank you so much for joining us. With that, I am joined by Manu Pabi, senior editor working with the Economic Times. Manu, thank you so much for speaking to us here. You were the one who actually filed this report, and this is very serious. The fact that there's been a Chinese transgression that we can see in Uttarakhand, and the timing of this is, of course, at a time when there is disengagement being followed by troops from both sides in eastern Ladakh. How are we supposed to interpret this now? Because this is happening as recently as August 30th last month.
Yeah, this is a very unusual event for two reasons. One is, of course, that the scale of it is unprecedented. In Barahoti, there have been problems in the past. A smaller number of troops used to come, but this time about 100 troops have come, which has caused a lot of concern. Interpretation of this is slightly difficult because at one hand, Ladakh, the dialogue process is on, and we are trying to resolve the situation. On the other hand, you've seen aggression in other sectors. Also, the timing is just before the Prime Minister traveled to the U.S. For talks at the UN and for talks on the Quad. It could be part on that. I mean, all of that has to be interpreted. I think that analysis is being done by senior level in the government. But the fact that the Chinese came in, didn't do a confrontation. Remember, they went back. So it's not like those old Galwan issues where they came in and sat down and, ended up in a prolonged confrontation. This one was just a signaling. It was coming in, making their presence felt, destroying some things, and then going back in.
So, Manu, as you said, that the Indian Army and the Defense Ministry will, of course, take a look at this and understand what exactly could be the what measures they need to take. But in terms of this transgression, are they looking at it as something to the level that we saw earlier on, or what are they saying? What are the initial reports which are coming through to you from the Defense Ministry on this?
See, the initial reports from the government suggest that it is a serious incident. It is not as serious as Galwan and Pangong So, because there, the Chinese, when they came in, they did not go back. They came in, transgressed, made camps, made their infrastructure on the Indian side and stayed on for months and months. In this incident, they did come in, and it was quite serious because they came in 5 kilometers with a large number of troops, but they also returned. So, I mean, the severity level is slightly lower than what happened last year in Galwan and Ladakh. But the concern is high because this can be repeated. And 100 people coming in, in the future, there is always have to be cautious that they don't stay back. Because if they stay back, that starts off a long-term face-off, which can lead to tensions. Barahoti has been a problem area. There have been smaller incidents in the past years, but the scale of this is a bit of concern. Of course, we have been beefing up our defenses on the China border across all sectors. As for the Chinese, they of course have a better access road because of the Tibetan plateau there. Our guys have to trek quite a bit to get to Barahoti, while these guys can almost drive right to the pass near Barahoti and then come down. So they can do this much quicker.
Right, Manu, they're giving us an understanding of why this is significant, not as serious as Galwan, but nonetheless very serious that the Defense Ministry as well as the Army is taking a close look at. Thank you so much for joining us with that, Manu.